house.
about
That's why
that.
I came in. I thought, wow, did Tom Ford design this room?
This is a very nocturnal animals
It is
set.
very Susan.
So these two movies coming out at the same festival, I mean,
Yeah.
at the same time, very, very different.
Yes.
And it must be just like fun for you to like put on a different set of skills and go in there.
It is. It's really fun. It's you know, you want to, you know, do your job to represent each one of them uniquely because they were such unique experiences, and but it's been fantastic to get to be here and to be in Venice. I was in Venice, and now to be here with both films.
I saw
it's just
Arrival and Telluride.
Did you?
Where it was quite the hit.
I loved Telluride so much. I'm from Colorado, and that laid back atmosphere, and like
We'll get
just
you back there.
wearing jeans. Like, not that I don't love the dress up element to my job, but it's nice to return home, so to speak.
Exactly. Well, let's take Denis Villeneuve and
Oh, he's
Tom
the best.
Ford and do a little compare and contrast.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. They're very different human beings. Very, yeah, very, you know, both of them are concerned with the emotional core of the film. And both of the films sort of do this thing where they tell a very difficult non-linear story, which I didn't really realize until I watched them a day apart from one another. And so, although I was struck with how different they were in tone and sort of like the lushness of Tom's film versus sort of the starkness of the alien world that we were visiting. I mean, the alien ship. That's, but they both are told in this non-linear way that I think both directors executed so beautifully.
That's harder for you.
I did a lot of prep for both of these films. I have a wonderful woman that I work with, and I just dug in because there's just a lot that is unspoken that I have to communicate, and
Both
so
of these films are like on your face.
It's a
looking
lot
at
of
your
my
ideas
face.
going across.
Yeah, I'm glad you're looking at my ideas because I was looking at like the truth, which I love. I'm somebody who's like, let's confront the truth, but it was. It felt very exposing to watch it, not to film it in a way, but to watch it, I felt very exposed.
What's
Yeah.
really cool about these movies is that, I mean, not that you haven't been front and center on many movies before, but more than almost all of your other ones, you are the star. You are carrying the movie. And I wondered if that was fun for you to sort of feel that.
I didn't feel it. You know what I mean? I felt it in the sense of especially with Arrival, I felt a huge responsibility to the story because, you know, you are really on this journey with her, with Louise. And I knew that in Nocturnal Animals, the sort of big responsibility that I had was to be able to help Tom navigate between these two worlds successfully. You know, that was a huge responsibility, but I never had sort of that moment of feeling like, it wasn't really until like Venice where I was like, oh wait, I'm in both of these movies a lot. Like, it struck me, and that was a very strange moment, to not get to hide behind the cast. I like ensemble casts, which Nocturnal Animals is, but to realize, like in Arrival, it's me, Jeremy Forrest, and then this amazing, very small ensemble cast. And that was a strange feeling to have to stand up by myself and present this film. You know, it's not something that's organic for me.
Right, that character in Arrival is very brave.
She is.
And very smart.
Very.
And very intuitive.
Yes.
There's male-female in her.
Yes.
In a good way.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's one of the great androgynous heroines that we've had.
Thank you. Thank you.
But she also has to go up to this big glass thing inside this alien spaceship, and
Yeah.
we see what she's looking at. But
Yeah.
you, the actress on the set,
Don't see.
what?
The white light. It's just a light. Denis had puppeteers behind, so we got to see there's balls that we were looking at, like shadows, so we could tell like the depth. And they would kind of run back and forth and side to side depending on what the heptapods are doing, because a lot of times, you know, when you're dealing with the special effects, you're just given an X to stare at, and then it's not like a moving thing and a being that you have to connect with. And that was sort of the genius of Denis that helped us all connect with what we couldn't see and and develop an emotional connection and reaction to these beings. He did a great job with that, including us in the process. It really helped.
How much do you get involved at the script level in terms of the development of your character?
At this point, not a lot. I'm working on being more involved in the future and getting involved in sort of more development side of things, but I've been lucky enough, like with this script, I was so connected to the character in Arrival that the first time I read it, I wanted to be her. I felt like I knew her, which was really important. I just felt, whenever I get like that, I get very dogged. I'm like, I have to play this. And I had just come off of American Hustle and was taking a break and kind of wanted to.
Recovering.
I was recovering. Yes, I was.
You were
and
very honest with Denis Horn.
I was recovering, and I really just didn't think I wanted to like dive into anything. But luckily, I have really awesome women. I have awesome women who are like, Amy, I really think you need to read this, and you need to meet with Denis. And I had known Denis' work, but in meeting him, I realized how special he is. He's so compassionate, and he has a family, and he brings all of that to his roles, this sort of emotional intelligence, or to his movies. And what I loved is he said, with all the sci-fi, with everything else we're going to be dealing with in this film, this is a mother's story. This is the story that she tells her daughter. And that hit me in such a sweet, that hit my sweet spot. And I was like, I want to do this with you. And we didn't know when we were going to do it. I've played a mother before. I played a mother in Sunshine Cleaning, but like a very young mother. And then, but this was, I'm trying to think if this is the first time since being a mom that I've played a mom. But it was,
how old was your child?
She's 6. She's 6. This happens all the time when I start relating my daughter to this experience. She's 6. Yeah, it's
so there's an
fine.
emotional tug for you.
Huge emotional tug.
Well,
But also knowing
hits
that,
you hard anyway,
yeah,
right?
but I also loved that it was a woman going toe-to-toe with the men, and not in a way that felt masculine. She still felt very much like a woman, and that's something I loved, that she still was vulnerable and brave and scared all at the same time, and that does exist within us. And bravery isn't the lack of fear, it's working through it and doing it in spite of the fear.
Or having a larger role, which in
Yeah.
this case, not unlike something like, say, Terminator or something.
Yeah.
It's about saving the world.
Exactly.
Your female intuition and your smarts together in this movie make it possible for us to save ourselves from
Yeah.
annihilation.
Yeah. Yes, I guess yes, it does. But there are so many women in the world like that who are highly intelligent and intellectual. We got to see this with a group of scientists and a group of sort of people from SETI, and they were talking about sort of how in the world sort of what has become celebrated versus what is actually become valuable, So we were talking about how we need to find a way to make scientists celebrities. Like, how can we do that? Because they're doing the most amazing work right now. People don't, yeah.
Part of what we're both agreeing with each other here is that this isn't what Hollywood chooses to put up there for our daughters to see in the way of feeding.
Exactly. But even more than Hollywood, it's just sort of the way media has evolved.
Right.
So, so whenever I have an opportunity to, play what you refer to as sort of this androgynous, who sort of has a balance of what we perceive as male and female, I think that's really valuable. I hope that it's valuable to girls and to women.
So the other movie that we're talking about here, Nocturnal Animals, is a different kind of film in the sense that you're playing a character who's very lost,
Yeah.
very lonely,
Yes.
and trying to figure she's also in this extraordinarily stylized and sterile kind of environment. Describe this character for us a little bit.
Oh, well, when we meet Susan, she's sort of in this kind of austere and seemingly, very manicured world, and manicured of her own choices and her own being.
It's all about surfaces.
It's all about surfaces. She's at a point where her veneer is cracking. And I love it because it gets so close that you can see like the lipstick kind of cracking and like the makeup's kind of stuck. It's so beautiful and like gross and awesome. But she is sort of filled with this emptiness of these choices and this veneer that she's put upon herself, and that's when she receives the novel from her ex-husband. And then we get to go on this amazing journey of the novel and of her past with her ex-husband.
And her reaction to the novel.
Exactly.
Her
Yeah.
reaction to her past husband. No,
Yeah.
it's quite a work of novel
Yeah.
formation.
It
I don't know
is.
how to describe it. It's
Yeah.
not normal. It's not a
No.
normal movie.
No, it's not. And that's one of the reasons I was attracted to it, because when I talked to Tom and I read the script and I was like, oh my gosh, on page, this is fantastic, but how is he going to tell the story through time and through reality and fiction, and what's his idea? And that's what I really wanted to know. Is I was like, how do you want to do this? And he says, I'm going to use color, and I'm going to use music, and I'm going to use lighting. And I just was like, yes, this all sounds, I want to do this with you. I want to be a part of whatever this journey you want to go on is.
All
And
I could think of, I know this is very superficial.
No, that's
but
all
I
right.
could think of is that you were draped. Every time you had a shot of you in bed,
Draped.
it was like the pillow and the sheet and
Can I
the
tell
color.
you a little secret? Is I asked Tom to get in bed and lay for me because I'm a bit of a schlump, and even playing somebody who's quite pulled together, I can't do it the way Tom does it. So I'd have him lay down, and I was like, "Can you show me like what?" And I don't know if he knew exactly what I was doing at the time, but I'd be like, "Can you show me how you want me?" Because he has such a grace about him, and he'd be like, "Yes, because one would sit down and read," and I would go, "Oh, is that how you read, Tom?" And he's like, "Well, yes." And I was like, "Perfect, great, that's how she reads then." And it's, I mean, I read, there's a lot of chins when I read, so like, I knew that wasn't gonna work on camera because I'm like this, like total like iPad, and like, it's so, I was like, okay, I've got to watch Tom because he doesn't have a double chin ever, so, but it never felt false to me, and that's what I loved, is I think because I was using Tom and I so trusted, and he so is that person, like knowing that you could base it in such a wonderful reality really
You're playing
helped.
him, in effect.
Yeah, really helped me ground what is a character that I might not feel an affinity to naturally, but knowing that whatever my feelings about her were, are also her feelings about herself. And so I tried not to deny any judgment. I had a lot of times I don't judge my character, but I allowed myself to judge her because she was judging herself. And that was different for me.
So when you did the tribute in Tell Your Eyes,
Yeah.
What kind of reaction did you have? Because I have to say, sitting in the audience, I was going, oh my gosh, she's had an amazing run of great parts. And however difficult American Hustle was, and I know that's not the ideal setup.
No, but
you were great in it.
Thank you. And you know what, it served not to digress, but it served a very important role in my life, and I'm super grateful for that. And David has provided me with opportunities to change people's perception of me, and I'm grateful for that. And I never, when I spoke out, it was never to speak out against him. It was just sort of information had been leaked and people were talking about it. And so that was really difficult for me because I really value Set as a secret space.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be. And so I never I'm not trying to hurt him in any way.
No, but it's out there.
Yeah,
he
so
doesn't make it easy. I don't think Christian Bale
so
has any time either.
it's not my intent to hurt him or do him damage.
No,
And he's
no.
provided, I just wanted to clarify that, and he has provided these awesome opportunities to change people's perception of me as an actress, and I'm really, really grateful for that. And
Could you describe what the ideal relationship with a director and an actress for you would be to allow you to do your best work?
It's different for each role, you know, and you know, I value ultimately. I know different actors have different perspectives on this, but my perspective is my job is to execute the vision, the story. It's my job to tell the story, and as much as I want to protect my character, I don't own my character. Ultimately, I have to turn my character over to the director, to the editor, to producers. So it's important to me that we all are on the same page and that we all communicate so that I can do my best to help tell the story that everyone's trying to tell. You know, we're all storytellers, and that I'm just a part of that puzzle. So for me, that's really important to me is communication.
And
Coming
it
back to
sounds like
Arrival,
You
communication.
want to have more of a role in forming some of the material that you're going to be doing going ahead.
Yeah, I really enjoy being a part of that process. I also realize that I don't like to be left out of the loop, and so I'm like, it's kind of nice to get to and to take accountability for some of it, you know, and to show up in a different way. And I think that's important in empowering myself and hopefully being in a position to help empower, you know, up and coming, emerging talent, whether it be directors or producers or writers that are women. I think there's so many. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but there's a lot of really awesome voices to be heard, and I just want to be a small part in helping them be heard. Thank you so much.